We have the full buck moon at 11 degrees of Capricorn happening on July 3rd at 4:38 a.m. Pacific, which is 7:38 a.m. Eastern. Check your local time to see when this lunation is occurring in your area. Welcome to the summer sessions for the 2023 new and full moon cycles. Over this season, we'll have 3 supermoons and we'll also have a blue moon, which is the moon that's happening August 30th in Pisces. So we've got quite the colorful array of lunar events that are happening over this next 2 months, and it will be anything but boring. And so yeah, since this is a supermoon, this lunar event is in something called perigee. Perigee is when the moon is closest to the Earth, so it appears larger, creates those supermoons. When we have the micromoons, it is an apogee, which is when the moon is furthest from the Earth. Because our moon's orbit isn't perfectly elliptical, we have those moments where it appears closest and furthest away from the Earth. And July's full lunar event is also known as a buck moon. The reason why it got its name is through the observations of native and ancient tribes, noticing growth when it came down to the buck's antlers. So during this time, the length on the buck's horns were at a period where they were flourishing. Spiritually, this may be a period where you're noticing something is more apparent in your life than it has been before. In other words, this could be a time where you're starting to notice a shift or a change in something that you've been putting effort into. So the growth of someone might go from stagnant to subtle to actually showing that there's some blossoming ahead. And the vibes on the graph are absolutely reflective of this full moon energy. Because this is a mixed bag moon with a lot of stuff going on as this full moon is occurring, we have a variety of energies. Psychic energy will be present throughout this lunar event because of the stuff that's going on with Neptune. Neptune is in the process of being yachted and is still very still in the sky due to it going retrograde only a few days prior to this. So this planet is at potent strength and giving off this psychic tone to the air. So this could be a full moon where we're having prophetic dreams. This could be a full moon where we're feeling our intuition is on fire and we're picking up on things. We're able to see things and connect the dots to certain things on a non-linear sort of way, which usually doesn't mix with Capricorn, but currently Saturn is in Pisces, so all of these things will combine with one another at some point. Family and friends energy will intersect that, so there could be stuff to deal with our loved ones that we're dealing with during this lunar event. Maybe we're picking up on something psychically with them. Maybe we're feeling extra triggery when it comes down to them, since emotional sensitivity will peak and valley throughout the next 2 days. From the 3rd all the way up until about the 4th, we're dealing with some triggery stuff, so it could deal with family, it could deal with other things, it could also deal with romantic situations since romantic vibes are in the air as well. Or we're picking up psychically on something romantic, something flirty, or something to come around the corner when it comes down to our love life scenarios. Ambitious energy will also be present during this and also intersecting that psychic energy as well. So we might feel motivated by our intuition to take action on something that we need to take care of. And there's a smidge of mental energy intersecting a little bit of this with a small, low-grade amount of good luck. So we could be thinking about the possibilities of something fortunate around the corner. So yeah, now that we're here at this peak of the lunar cycle, we can go back and see what we were working on 6 months ago when we had that new moon in Capricorn on December 23rd of 2022. Full moons are when we look at the progress we've made since that new moon in the exact sign, where we attempted to incorporate the positive qualities of that sign, so that way by the time we do get to that full moon period, we can see if anything we set out to accomplish is ready to launch, what needs to be tweaked, and also look at some of the lower vibrations of this energy and what needs to go in our lives. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which has a lot to do with father time, and if we're using it wisely. So has this been a period where you started considering investing yourself in a long-term project, investing yourself in a long-term goal, whether that be business, whether that be relationship-wise, whether that be body goals, whether that be anything you're knowing will take a while to develop? Was this a period where you were working on developing those things that will one day ensure that you have long-term success on whatever you're trying to create for yourself? Some of this could look like situations where you're starting to see a return on your investment. or you've gotten to a point where you're eliminating things that waste your time and don't bring you the return you're looking for. And because of the investing nature of this could have been a time of seeing what you should commit yourself to. So through this period, you could have narrowed your options down so that way you're focused on the right things to expend your energy into. Another way this energy can show up could be through responsibility and accountability in your life. I know that one sounds boring to some people, but we all get to a point where we get sick and tired of being sick and tired and not owning our responsibilities, not being responsible for ourselves and our lives, and the things that require us to step into our adult era, the situations that require us to be more mature. So has this been a period where you've been stepping up in that regard? Has this been a period where you started showing up for yourself more and becoming more responsible when it comes down to your duties, taking accountability for actions that need to be amended, but overall being more dependable for yourself as well as others who are deserving of such? Saturn and Capricorn is about setting limits. So this could have been a period where you're learning the importance of having proper parameters when it comes down to yourself and others, because we hear about boundary setting with everybody else, but we also have to set boundaries with ourselves as well. So are you putting limits on the things that prevent you from growing? Are you looking at the things that are stunting your growth and avoiding you from making progress and finding strategies to limit that sort of behavior so that way you can level up in your life? Sometimes this can show up as procrastination as well. So are you gaining more structure in your life and making sure you're making your dreams and aspirations real so that way you can have the success you're craving? And of course, some of those boundaries can be with other people. We ultimately set the boundaries, and again, we're responsible for setting our boundaries with ourselves and with other people. And so this could have been a period where you're learning to put some limits and parameters up around people. Maybe this is a situation where you've been putting your goals on hold and stunting your growth in order to make other people happy. And so now you're working on that part and learning not to be overly responsible for other people because it is preventing you from your growth. And speaking of growth, has this been a period where you've worked on your professional life? Because Capricorn and Saturn have a lot to do with how we climb the ladder in life, the legacy we're going to leave behind. And so if this has been one of your main objectives throughout this period, have you been working on your portfolio? Have you been working on your public face, your reputation, your social media accounts? So that way you can stand out from the crowd. That way you can show off your credentials. Or have you been putting yourself in these stepping stone positions so that way you can get to the next level of your career or kickstart a dream career that you're hoping to get into? Capricorn energy is about becoming a master in our field. So this could have been a complete starting point for you, or this could have been a period of getting back on track so that way you are working towards being more of an authority in your field. And of course, with that hard work comes rewards. Has this been a period where you've looked for financial security and working on your status? I know sometimes people get the ick about the whole material thing, but it's an important part of life and it's essential. And with that said, if you are one of those people working on this, has this been a period where you figured out how to gain more when it comes down to your earning power? Has this been a time where you look to increase your monetary security? And honestly, overall security in your life, having the things that you need in order to feel comfortable. And in the sense with Capricorn energy, it is external security. It is not emotional security. And let's be honest, sometimes those things bring us comfort and they bring us the stability that we need in our lives. And so if you've been working on that, has this been a period where you're starting to see that things are starting to blossom in some sort of way? Maybe they may not be at a big level yet, but you're seeing that there's going to be progress to be had down the line as a result of all of your hard work. So hopefully this Capricornian period has helped you gain the stamina needed to push through your obstacles to reveal your true potential. Let's look at these transits and see what we can expect with this lunar event. As a reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps this channel grow. And if you'd like to support the work of this channel, you could do so by buying me a fresh cup of coffee. There's a link in the description box below. So like I was saying earlier, this moon is mixed bag. We have some harmonious alignments with this, but we also have some alignments that may feel complex. Saturn and the moon are the chart rulers, the moon for the sun in Cancer and Saturn for Capricorn for this full moon in Capricorn, because we always have two rulers when we're looking at full moons. Currently, Saturn is in retrograde. It went retrograde a few weeks ago. So we could be re-examining situations in our lives that lack a lot of structure during this lunar event. The cool thing is Saturn is in a harmonious connection with the Sun and Mercury. The Sun is in its trine with Saturn, which happens to be a retrograde alignment and pushes Saturn faster into its retrograde cycle. But with these connections, we could be thinking of ways to bring some sort of constructiveness to our lives. We could be thinking of ways to bring some more stability to our lives. And we can find solutions that will help us with our long-term success. So this will really help us get through some shaky moments during this lunar event. So if we're feeling a little off kilter, we could even out with an energy like this supporting everything around this lunar event. And we'll need that because this moon will make connections to Mercury and Mars in a complicated way. So there could be moments where we're feeling edgy. There could be moments where conversations get a little bit heated. There could be moments where we're feeling irritable. And so there could be some bickering back and forth as a result of this energy. So we need to be mindful of our tempers. We need to be mindful of what we say. Sometimes with energy like this, it's not what we say, but how we say it. So our tone might be off, leading to edgy exchanges with others that are unnecessary. So this could feel unconstructive for that reason. But again, Saturn and the Sun and Mercury are making harmonious connections. And again, it can aid in some stabilization. The moon will connect to Jupiter harmoniously, which could put us in a good mood. This can actually bring on a jovial tone, despite some of the weird stuff that's going on. We can have moments where we feel more upbeat. We're able to turn situations around that might have gotten edgy. And just overall feel like we're in a celebratory mood. Overall feeling like we're in a mood to just do something fun and socialize or consider throwing some sort of party. Which interestingly enough makes sense since the next day is July 4th. In the States, we celebrate Independence Day. So yeah, that brings in that nice jovial get-togetherness tone. So this Jupiter stuff can really aid us in having a good holiday. And I know that that's completely a segue from this full moon, but that Jupiter stuff is lovely for throwing a party of sorts. The signs that will feel this lunar event more than others will be the cardinal modality: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn between 11 to 21 degrees of these zodiac placements. So if you have planets and chart points in these signs, you will feel this lunar event more than others. Anyway, I hope you all have the best full moon in Capricorn ever. Later, and see you in the next episode.